and welcome to Talk Yarny to Me. I am your host Oddknit. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Oddknit's Adventure, and you can read my very neglected blog at oddknit.wordpress.com. Ta-da! Welcome back if you are returning, and hello to people who are new. I'm actually called Amy. I don't know if I've mentioned that, but I am. It's my real name. I call myself Oddknit. Nobody else calls me Oddknit. Just me. But who cares? Who cares? Apparently I do. Right. Let's just get on with it, shall we? I've done a lot of knitting, but I've only got 2 projects on the go, which is very, very unusual. I mean, I do have other things that I've started but haven't seen the light of day for months. But that's not the point. I've knit 4 squares on my blanket. It's foldable now, so I think that makes me pretty darn cool. Still haven't woven any ends in. I did do some previously, but nothing recently. So if you don't like ends, this is not the podcast for you. There's going to be quite a few hanging around, I can assure you. So yeah, once I've emptied my bag, so that's... Well, actually, I didn't show you last week, did I? Let's just do it. Let's just do it, because there isn't much else knitting going on. So this week, what did I add this week? Well, it would have been this one. This is I Knit or Dye. No colourway name. It's the Shangri-La base. Quite often, a lot of my I Knit or Dyes don't have names. This one, which matches my nails quite nicely, is not Travel Knitter. The Wall Kitchen. Sorry, they were right next to each other at EYF. This is the Wall Kitchen, her Merino silk 50-50 blend, and the Jellyfish colourway. These 2 were my dotted rays, purple and green. Fantastic colour combo. This grey is also I Knit or Dye, and it's the Shangri-La singles base. No colourway name, it's just a grey. I teamed it with some Flamboyant, which is this one from Stranded Dyeworks, Oasis base. This is Flamboyant in my laneway jumper, and I've also got Pure Joy in this and a pair of socks. There is another square of Flamboyant down here, but I decided that this one I will put 2 squares in of the same colour, because I've done a tunic, a scarf and a pair of socks with it. I mean, I could do a hat and be head to toe in Flamboyant, which would be pretty cool. So that's what I added this week. Last week I added Stranded Dyeworks, Blazed, Oasis, hand dyed by Kate. I think hers was called Hearthside, because there's Hearthside and Hearthrug, so I think this is her Hearthside. This is Pumpkin Spice by hand dyed by Kate. This yellow didn't have a name on it, so it's just a Sunshine Yellow. Fine Fish. This was a wild card colour on their core sock base. And this one is West Yorkshire Spinners, the Goldfinch colourway. This is Fairground by Blazing Needles. So that's everything I've added in the last couple of weeks, which is quite a bit really. It's getting quite sizable. Yeah, I haven't measured it on my bed for a while, so maybe I'll do that and see, because I wanted to have it 26 by 26, but I'm at about 13-14 now on the 2 ends, and if that's a quarter, then this is going to be huge. So I don't think I will. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So that's my blanket. The other... I actually, I'll go out of order on my list. I'll talk about this one. This is Transmute. I did show you this one last week. I haven't knit on it too much, but actually I have really, because Progress Keeper by the wonderful Corner of Craft. Don't know if you can see that very well. It's a turquoise unicorn. I loves it. That's where I was last week, so I have knitted quite a bit, I suppose, of a jumper. Most of it was done actually watching a film. We were watching Into the Wild. Amazing, really recommend it. And I have started a sleeve, so I'm working on the sleeves for a bit before I continue with the body, just because it's just, you know, makes it easier, I suppose. I've also been I've finished the decreasing, the waist decreases, and I think I've just got to knit for a bit and then do the hips increases. The sleeves turn out to be really easy because there's a huge chunk where there's no decreases at all, so I can just knit for a really long time and just got to put in the stripes. So really looking forward to that, which shouldn't take too long. I mean, I might just take an afternoon at some point this week and just work on the sleeve, because I'm sure that'll just whiz by if I force myself to do that. This is the Transmute jumper by Melanie Berg. I'm knitting it with Stranded Dyeworks Paradise in the Spook colourway, which is this lovely grey. And I'm also using same base but Roadside Flower, which is this grey pinky thing, and it's making a really nice sort of subtle stripe, and I really like it, and I'm going to wear it with skirts. I think is what I'm mainly knitting it for, and it's so soft, so lovely, and it's on my Ravelry page as my inner Amy, because I feel like I'm channeling my inner Stranded, because she does do grey jumpers. That's kind of her thing. So I feel like I've absorbed a little bit of her personality there, being so colourful. The girl's got to knit with grey and pink occasionally, but it'll go with everything, and I've got a lot of them. It'll go really nicely with quite a few skirts that I've got. So this is being kept in my pink hazel bag that I picked up at EYF. Ooh, go and drop it. I really like it. It's got some of my favourite colours: mustard, peppermint. It's got birds, some sheepies. What more could a gal want? And it's got some jacks. Very impressed with them. Yeah, that's that one. That was quite quick, but there's nothing exciting really to say about it. It's just stocking stitching around, so I'm just keeping round and round. It was alright. It was good. It was good film knitting, actually. Really good. I enjoyed that. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll have an evening. But I know you do knit a lot when you're watching a film. I watch films a lot on Netflix and TV shows and whatever. But I think going to the cinema is better for your knitting because you get more done. Because when you're at home just watching a film, I think you put it down and you look at Instagram every 5 minutes, and then I think, and also if it's a film that you've seen before, you're only half watching it, whereas if it's a really gripping film that you've never seen before, so every second of it is new, I think that's when you get the work done. But hey ho. I'm really enjoying it, the Transmute jumper. I think I got distracted by my next work in progress, which is in my penguin bag, because why not? Now, this is the Briochevron Wrap, which if you saw last week, you'd have known that I pretty much only cast it on. This is where we are now. That little aqua sheep, again, stitch marker by the Corner of Craft. Look at him, chilling there. being all sheepy. That is where I was when we finished last week. I've just knit so much. I really, really love it. And I'm now going to show you the other side, which is just amazing. I probably should mention that this side is knit with Laxtons Limited. It's 100% Falkland Merino 4-ply, completely bare. And this is the first skein that I'm not even halfway through yet, I don't think, which is good because I've got 2 more of them. And this is the other side. Oh, I love it so much. So you've got Stranded Dyeworks Paradise in the scuba colourway. Then we've got Lang Jowl. No, we don't. That's later on. This is Stranded Dyeworks Bonanza. This one, Bonanza on Oasis base. Then we've got Easy Knits, one of their Wicked Let, which is their mini skeins. I believe this colour's called Queenie. I'm not sure. It didn't have it written on it, so I had to do some googling to find out. Stranded Dyeworks Oasis base Flamingo Legs. Stranded Dyeworks Paradise base Orangey Lovely. I Knit or Dye Shangri-La in that grey colour, which I striped in to add a really stripy section, because this yellow is Lang Jowl. I think it was called the Egg Yolk colourway, but I don't know if you can get hold of it anymore, because I tried to look for it and I couldn't find it, but you know, they might still do it. And then I've got I Knit or Dye Shangri-La in the Vicky Stardust colourway, which is just a tiny stripe there. And then we've got Stranded Dyeworks Paradise in the what's this one? Not quite Ice Skating Party, so it's a little bit paler than her usual. And I've just started to add some flamboyance, which is, I've shown you in the blanket, I suppose. I've got this much, and I've also got this much, and I also have another ball of it somewhere. Leftovers. This is the leftovers from the Pure Joy. This one I think is from the sock leftovers. I can't remember. And the other one's from the jumper. Yeah, because I'm starting off with the smaller balls. I want to use all of this up, and I've got this just in case I don't finish a row in time. Or if I get to the other side but I can't come back, then I can just chuck that in. The up and coming colours that will probably be in it by next week, because I'm just so obsessed with it. I can't put it down. I love it so much. We need to start a movement. Everybody needs to cast on a Briochevron Wrap with a bare side and a jersey side. So next on the list, it will probably be some Wollmeiser in the Frost colourway, which is a lovely green. And I've got some Stranded Dyeworks Sock Blank that I've wound up because it's the leftovers, and this is what's left of my Naive watercolour. And then I've got some Stranded Dyeworks Solo Base, or yeah, Solo Singles. And this is Fright Nights, which I think will look really cool when it's in the thing. And I'm going to have a good wedge of that one, I think. So I've got loads of it. I still have this many leftovers that are waiting to go into the wrap, and I also have some more in that glass bowl that I think I showed previously. Yeah, I've still got loads of leftovers, and I've still got leftovers that are in here, but I've still got loads left. Thinking, oh my god, nobody gonna get through it. Because the aim was to take all the leftovers that, like, because I don't want to have a 20 row stripe of one colour. Then I had these stripy things going on, which was good fun. I enjoyed doing that. And you know, some have got bigger stripes than others and whatever. You know, and some, if I've knit a pair of socks, then that meant that I probably had about 35 grams left over. I don't want a 35 gram stripe of one colour in the Briochevron Wrap. It would be ridiculous. So the plan was to then wind it all into one massive ball in that, and then do the granny stripe crochet blanket, because I want in on that. Everybody else is doing it, I want to have a go. But I also want to do those little hexagon ones that I saw Little Bobbins doing on one of her podcasts, and I'm wondering if I can amalgamate the two, because I don't need any more blankets as I've got, but I'm still making some. But I'm thinking, can I not do like hexagons, make it into like a rectangle shape, and then add some stripes, and then do another block of hexagons? Am I mad? Will that work? Because today is the greatest day of all. It's the Granny Square day, so I was thinking of maybe doing my first hexagon today and uploading it as my Granny Square. I don't know. I might do it. So, sorry about that. Don't know what happened, but yeah, I think the hex puffs are really cute. So I don't know what I'm going to do. We shall see. Plenty of time, plenty of yarn. Okay, let's put this back in to sing. I haven't sewn any of the ends in yet. Look at them. It's like having a fringe. Kind of like it. That's completely confused me, having it. I think it ran out of memory. But it's like throwing me a bit. So that's all. That is all my knitting. That's all I've done. It doesn't sound very exciting, does it? It's a bit boring. False balls. I have done a little bit of sewing. Only a little bit though. I got this fabulous fabric with robots on, and I've made a dress that has some monkey pockets, obviously, and it just wants a hem. So now I have two dresses that just need a hem. And I've messed up the neckline. I think I'm going to have to get some bigger bias binding, so I've had to do this horrible stitching going on there. I don't know what I've done. And then this side is the front, and I've done something weird there. So I'm thinking next time I do this dress, I'm getting some of the wider bias binding, because it's just not working the way that I'm doing it. So I need to practice with the wider, I think. And I think what I'll probably also need to do is maybe I might find a button or a bead or something that I can just attach here to disguise this thing that I've done. But yeah, really, really like it. And my pockets are wonky as well. I didn't realise until after I'd sewn them on, but life's too short to unpick it. So that's that. And I've also actually, whilst you're on sewing, I had a go at quilting, but I don't have any wadding, so I just sewed some strips of fabric together, and then I wanted to have a go at freehand quilting, because I've been watching Angela Waters on Quilting Is My Therapy, and on her Craftsy YouTube thing, which is, this is all on YouTube and free. It's called The Midnight Quilting Show on the Craftsy YouTube channel, and I really like my zigzaggy bit, which is around about here, but yeah, I need to have another go, or I think I need to get a different foot. I'm not sure what I'm doing, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I really want to have a go at quilting, so I thought I'd start off with like a mug ruggy coastery thing. So I'm going to have another go. I will. at some point using all my scraps of fabric, because a girl can't have too many scrappy projects on the go. Should probably stop talking without having a mug in front of my face. Right. So my other thing that I just wanted to talk about was I need to sew in some ends, because I haven't sewn the ends in on the shawl or the pair of socks that I showed you last week, and my blanket needs some ends sewing in, and the Briochevron Wrap's going to need some end sewing at some point. So, and I've also been craving socks. I haven't had any socks needles for a few weeks now, and it's painful. So my idea was, little Miss Oddnit, Amy Wamey Woo Woos, listen to me. If you hem that dress, that robot dress, and if you sew in the ends on the Ravenclaw shawl, there has to be a total of 10 ends. I don't know if there's 10 ends within that shawl, but I want 10 ends from that shawl, the pair of socks, the blanket, the Briochevron Wrap. Whatever happens, the new madam will be allowed to cast on a pair of socks. So what's this pair of socks that you keep going on about you wish to cast on? It's in one of my very tiny sheep bags, what I made with, oh look, that fabric's familiar. It's got monkeys on. I have a dress in this fabric too. Well, I felt that the yellow monkeys matched it more than the orange polka dots, because this is the yarn that's living inside this bag. It's some Bergere de France in the Goomy 50. This is my French accent. I'm sorry, that's probably very offensive. It's some Bergere de France Goomy 50. I think this is called the, sorry, the Imprim Juane. Oh, I've got some stuff in my mouth from the yarn. Sorry. So yeah, I've got 2 balls of it, so I can do 2 at a time, which I do from time to time. My least favourite part about 2 at a time is dividing the skein into 2. That's, I can live with the rest of it. I will happily do 2 at a time, magic loop, toe up, but it's the winding off 50 grams for, well, not even 50 for one. I think I use about 30 odd for 40. I think at one point I did divide it into 60-40, which worked. But, you know, I just hate the winding it into separate balls. It just annoys me. So with this, I won't have to do that, will I? I don't get second sock syndrome. I honestly don't. As soon as I finish one, I do the next. But, yeah. Ta-da! It's lovely green, chartreusey, yellow. I think it's self-patterning. Oh, I'm not a vanilla sock person, so I don't know if I'm going to do vanilla sock. And I'm doing, you know, essentially vanilla with my Transmute jumper. Just every X row I do a pink stripe, which isn't very exciting. It's probably why it's taken a bit of a backseat. But yeah, so I might do something, some kind of texture rather than a necessary pattern. Right, I think they've finished tooting their horn. Apparently not. So I'm also going to try this out for 2 at a time socks, because it does fit the wool in there. Because I used my orange one for my previous socks that I made, Oh, she's exactly the same size, so I don't know. We shall see. So that's all of that. Now we move on to the What Have You Been Up To? Or Odd Knits Adventures. Week in Review. Whatever you want to call it. Nothing exciting, I'm afraid. Half the week in the evenings I died and just had migraines and just died for a bit and just felt really ugh. But I'm feeling better now. I started to feel better. I think it was Saturday night. It felt amazing. And then Sunday I became this lovely pink red colour. I was invited by a friend to go to the farmer's market in the village. It's once a month fair. And we normally just go there for a coffee because it's cheap. Although it's moved. Conveniently, it's moved to the pub garden. And quite handily, my friend bought a massive flask of coffee, so we didn't even pay for coffee. A bit naughty, really. But they got our money out of us later on. Because I got there, just put on some really just kind of lazy clothes, no makeup, because I was just going to the farmer's market to keep my mate company because she has a stall there. And I thought we were just going to have a cup of coffee and then go home again, because that's what we normally do. Got there and just chatting, looking at the stalls and this, that and the other. And then she goes, oh, by the way, we're staying after the market because they've got a band on. I went, all right then, because normally the market shuts at 12:30 and we were told that the band would be on at 2, so we thought, oh, by the time, because I was going to help her pack up her car with all the stuff in it, and because we only live up, yes, we do only live up the road, 2 minutes walk, but obviously because she's a stall holder, she's got all her stock and tables and everything, so yeah, so that's why she had a car. It's not through laziness, it's for hauling all the stuff. So we thought, by the time we've done that, I'll be about 1 o'clock, 1:15, won't it? And we'll sit and have a drink and wait for the thing to come on. Then it turned out that the market shut at 12. So we were done, dusted, and we had a pint. Then we looked at the time and thought, got another 45 minutes before the band comes on. And the band weren't going to start dead on 2, were they? No, they started a little bit later. So then we had another half pint and a bowl of chips, all sitting in the pub garden. No sun cream on whatsoever, because I only thought I was popping out for a bit. Yeah. And then, of course, she goes, we'll go back to mine and sit in the garden. Yeah. I'm in a lot of pain, but it has calmed down quite a bit since yesterday. And I was the talk of the store yesterday at work. Everyone kept coming up to me and going, oh my God, you silly girl. I'm like, I know. And when it's like 5 o'clock and it's the 90th person to have said to you, have you caught the sun? And you think, oh, have I? Do you really think it's got to 5 o'clock and nobody's said anything to me? Public. Woo. Can he be helped? So yeah, that is everything. So thank you so much for watching. All pattern yarn information will be down below. I probably won't leave the information for the blanket and anything in the Briochevron Wrap, because there's an awful lot of yarns going on there. But feel free to ask me, you know, pause it, screenshot it, whichever one, and I can tell you whatever. That's fine. Yeah, so hopefully I will see you next week with a hemmed dress, some ends woven in, and a pair of socks on the go. Hopefully I won't die from migraines and actually get some knitting done. And not spend the entirety of my Sunday in the sun not knitting. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.